The Career Trail. Your success journey begins here.
Last week, we introduced the 11th episode of the Career Trail New Edition, diving into the early life of gospel musician Diana Hamilton.
I struggle to say I'm doing music professionally because I'm not.
Stay glued to your TV set as we introduce the second part of the interview, which explores her journey as a fashion entrepreneur.
Do you face challenges in your musical career?
Of course.
What are some of the challenges?
I don't always live in Ghana.
Okay.
I live in the UK, but your ministry is needed around the world. And when was just Easter Friday, the last Easter Friday.
Okay.
I was in Accra. I sang on Thursday. I sang on Friday. By Saturday morning at 6 o'clock, I was in London, boarding a flight to America to sing on Saturday night in America.
You didn't lose your voice?
Voice now, Audrey. I literally was standing in front. So I finished singing in pleasant places. I was heading to the airport and I remembered a lady was having her birthday in airport and I had to go surprise her. So I went to the airport party. It was a birthday. And that's that video that the woman was kneeling in front of me. I was wearing a yellow dress. Yeah. I was on my way to the airport. I stopped at the party, did the surprise, sang with her, prayed with her. Then I entered Marriott Hotel, washroom, and changed from my attire into a jogging bottoms and basically a tracksuit, went straight to the airport, checked in, boarded a flight, slept the whole journey, got to London. I was met by my husband and the kids for like 30 minutes. We checked in I remember standing in front of the machines and I couldn't stand. I knelt down to be able to punch in the numbers or whatever they wanted to check in. Jumped on the plane, got to Washington, went to Maryland, sang that Saturday night, sang the Sunday morning, and flew out of America the Sunday morning, got to London Monday morning. So I had done Ghana, London, America, London in like 5 days. These are things that, am I complaining? No, I absolutely love it. And that's why I'll tell you that a combination of all of that makes us what we are. At one point, Ghanaians thought I lived in London, Londoners thought I lived in Ghana. So I was missing in transition, you know. And the Ghanaians would say, I want to how to anchor win gigs. The English would say, Ghana, but with time, location was okay. They knew where I lived, and so it began making sense. Family, you can't be with family all the time, but that's when God gives you a supportive family that will understand what you do. Finance, another challenge. When you do these events we do, they are financially draining, but when God calls you, he equips you, and so he'll bring you help and all of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyways, congratulations for winning the best international collaboration at the
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
so
you.
Now we are going to ask you, how did that collaboration come about?
Mercy is a friend. She's a sister. We've known ourselves before the collaboration. Years before the collaboration, we met at Women in Worship at Action Chapel, and since then we've become friends. And so I fully recorded the song, Doing of the Lord. And I remember driving one time, and it just hit me that I can actually put her on. Prior to that, I was thinking of putting her on another song. But then she was pregnant, and I wanted to release that song. So I went ahead and I released it. Then I had already recorded this, and I thought, why not? So I just picked the phone and I asked, and she said, why not? I'll do it. And we kind of set the dates and timelines, and we're here.
Wow. So you being a Ghanaian, realize that most of your songs, you blend the English with the Chi. Why that choice?
It actually comes to me naturally. When I'm talking, even talking to you now, I've slotted in God knows how many tree words. It's something I do. I remember when I started singing, my manager, King David, said to me, "Obey tree, obey English, English. Don't try to mix it up, especially when you're speaking." And so I had to make a conscious effort not to mix English and tree, because that came to me naturally. And so I was always doing it, but very subtle. A song like in Siwiye, and Nyamia Ye Be, even in Siwiye, now I quite so 77 now. I could have done a song if I didn't want to. If I wanted to do tree crochet, I should have done 77. But I was subtly bringing it in until I was doing work in progress. And I remember sitting down with one gentleman, and he was like, by all means, mix it up, because there was a song like work in progress, a statement like work in progress. Nyame guso ye me hu adwuma. Ewadodo every senya oguso ye me hu adwuma. Ewadodo. And so it kind of worked well to just slot it in like that. And it's amazing how it caught on.
Oh, okay. All right. So now let's talk about the nursing career. You went to UK to practice.
I actually went there initially because singing was always drawing me away. I was being invited to the UK to sing.
Okay.
Over and over, I would go because my church is big. In the United Kingdom, we have a big church of Pentecost there.
Okay.
And every time they're having a convention, Easter convention, church opening, they would call me and I would go. And I realized work was suffering. And so I thought, why not stay?
Steady. How do you blend the two? Making sure that you don't focus too much on music and leave nursing behind, or you don't focus too much on nursing and leave music behind?
$1 million question you've just asked. Initially, I was doing more nursing and less singing.
Okay.
But as ministry took off, as singing took off, I kind of started doing more singing, less of nursing. But the switch has been very smooth. You can't be at every place all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're managing.
You're managing.
We're managing.
Okay. All right. So you're doing so well. You're a nurse who is doing so well. You're a musician who is doing so well. And you mentioned that sometimes you have to travel to so many places at the same time, have to be there to sing. And I'm asking myself, then why they need to add another headache, a business, to double the headaches?
So, while I'm singing, I would wear a dress. And somebody would ask, where did you make it? Who made it? And I would know that I designed this dress and I made someone make it for me. And it kept on going. And one time my sister, who is actually the brain, the business brain of what I do, called me and said, Auntie, we need to start selling these clothes. I thought she was joking. Anyway, she went ahead and opened a fashion web Facebook account. And at that time, it was called Diana Hamilton Fashion.
Okay.
And we had it for years, but we were not selling. People would ask, and I would make, if somebody asked, then I would make for them. But then COVID hit, and we had so much time on our hands, and everything was shifting from the stores to online. And we decided to seize the opportunity. Adelaide called and said, Auntie, it's about time we took this seriously. And so we started, and she said, we don't have to even have a shop, a physical shop. Let's open an online store, work and deliver. And we're here, DH by DH. It's a big one.
And how has the journey been?
It's been amazing. It's been amazing. When God gives you an assignment, like I say, He gives you help. And Adelaide, my sister and partner in what I do, has been phenomenal. And he's been just phenomenal with arranging things. We just finished with a collection, and it's just mind-blowing, the things we've done. And we've done so many collections, and every collection sells out. And these days we do more of, first we used to be on the rack company, but now we do more of custom orders and stuff. Yeah, okay. Because our clothes are very sophisticated, and we like to, and our clientele are not the average Europe figures. You know, we Africans have either huge backside, we're big on the top, big on the bottom. It's not the conventional shapes, and so it's nice when we do custom orders for people, and it's doing amazingly well.
Wow.
And somebody jokingly said, is it because you sing and mix English and Chi, that's why your clothing line is always African and Europe, like it's a proper mixture? Maybe. I didn't even think about it that way, but it's very unique. It's classy, it's empowering, it's transformative. Like, if you pick a DH by DH dress to wear, you wear it with such pride and confidence, because you will not meet someone on the street wearing it the same way you're wearing it, because they can never make it the way I make it. Thank you very much.
Oh my God, you can be a good marketer.
And it's the truth.
Okay, so we should purchase from you.
Of course.
Okay. But does your status affect the pricing? Because most celebrities, when they open their business, their pricing is different from an ordinary Ghanaian opening a business.
Oh, I think when we make these clothes, we take into consideration who's wearing it.
Okay.
What kind of detail we've put in, the choice of fabric, the beadwork, everything, the cuts, the edge, the fact that you will hardly meet someone on the street wearing a DH by DH. You can be confident to go into a wedding knowing me share minia, because hey, handsome.
All right. I didn't come here alone. I have 3 questions from you.
From others for me.
Others for you. Yes. But before that, I'd like to talk a little about the Awake experience.
Okay.
You sing so well. We listen to your songs. We stream on our tablets, our phones, laptop. We listen to your songs and all that. Why the need to, organize an Awake experience for us?
Oh, it was a dream that became a reality. Because when we started talking about this, I said to you that I was a church girl, that I flourished on stage at church. And I knew what happened in church when we lifted these songs. But coming into this industry, it was more of a studio. And it's just you and the producer, and you're creating it and hoping it will bless people. But even at that time, when I'm singing it, my focus, even though I'm in a studio with just a producer, I'm thinking of the stage. And I was looking for a day where we will create that atmosphere, where we will come together, lift a worship to God, and the place will erupt with worship, with praise, with dance, with prayer. And years down the line, it became a reality in the form of Experience with Diana Hamilton, now Awake Experience with Diana Hamilton. And it's such fulfillment. And I say that from October through November, December, January, I'm stressed because experience is coming. By March 5th, I am happy, I'm relaxed, because I feel my assignment is done. The joy I get when I'm done with experience, I don't think I can explain it. It's so fulfilling to know that what God asked me to do, I have done it. And so yes.
Wow.
It's a baby that I love to hold for as long as I can.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Are there any collaborations that you are looking forward to have but haven't gotten it yet? Anyone you want to collaborate with?
There are some people whose presence I just want to be in.
Okay. Who are those people?
I've actually had one. I adore the ministry, the life of C.C. Winans.
Oh, okay.
So much so, I flew just to go watch her. I flew to America for one of her concerts, and I just sat in the crowd, and I was totally blessed and blown away. Blown away. So much so that I don't underestimate or look down on anybody's reaction when they are adoring someone.
Okay.
I think I felt what anyone else feels when they see someone whose ministry has touched them, because I had one of those moments. I didn't get to meet her. I was just happy to sit under her ministry, to watch her on stage, and yeah.
But in future, maybe it might happen.
Oh, if it happens, I'll jump up this roof and yeah, I'd love for it to happen.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the day she'll give me a call. Oh!
I hope she watches this interview and grants the wish.
Please, please, that would be nice. But yeah,
Okay. Are there any upcoming projects?
so many of them. Watch
Okay.
out.
Okay, we should watch.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So now let's take a quick breather so that I can ask you the 3 questions that I have for you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. This is still the Career Trail on Joy Learning TV and Joy News. We shall take a quick breather. We'll be back with a question time segment.
The Career Trail. Your success journey begins here.
Welcome back from that quick breather. This is still the Career Trail. We have been speaking to gospel musician Diana Hamilton. You've heard a lot about her. If you missed any part of the conversation, you can always visit our YouTube channel at Joy Learning TV or Joy News and watch the full interview. So this is the second part of the show where I get to ask her 3 questions from her fans, but this time around her fans are students. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's take a look at the first question.
Hello, my name is Alima Al-Hassan and I attend Dixon International School. I'd like to ask Diana Hamilton a question. Has your faith ever been tested seriously and how did you pull through it?
There have been times when I've had to stand for my faith. I've had to say no to certain things because of my stance in the faith. I've had to say no to certain brands because it just doesn't work with my faith. It's not biblical. It's not right. I've said no. Maybe I was a child, but I stood my grounds, knowing that it wasn't right as a child of God to do that. So yes, I've lost certain, one would say, deals because it just wasn't right. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So when it has to do with your faith, money doesn't come first.
Oh no. Listen, my heaven is very important to me. And I say that I pray and I work and believe that my life, God will help me make heaven. And so this is something I usually say, my heaven won't hear me. And so as much as I can, if it lays within my power, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for helping us with that question. Now let's take a look at the second question.
My name is Osagi Aigbe from Dixon International School. My question is, have you ever thought of retiring from music?
Oh, I was born doing this. If God says I should stop, then maybe, yes. But until then, we carry on till as far as our strength will take us. I don't know when. All the aunties we know, Auntie Diana still sings. Auntie Mary Ganza still sings. Auntie Amy still sings. So, until God says it's okay. Elder Mreku's father was still doing music. Was he over 100 or 90 something? Do you ever stop? I met a man who was still a pastor at the age of 100. And he was actually called to pray. No, I take my words back. He was 96.
Okay.
Just last weekend.
Okay.
And he was called to pray. And he had his clerical on. This is ministry for me. And so until my strength cannot go, then, yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the last and final question.
I'm Kimelin Owu, a student of Year 9 Labrador Nights in Dixon International School, and I would like to ask Auntie Dinah a question. There are young people pursuing music but are not being heard. What can be the problem?
There's no problem. I think heard, and this person's definition of heard, is what puts a lot of people under pressure. You know, when you said, when did you become a star? When did you begin, or when did it get to a point where you were being recognized?
Yeah.
I think our quest to be recognized internationally make us lose on appreciating our present. This person who thinks she's not being heard is actually a superstar in her church. But she's too hungry for the market that she's not appreciating her present. And I say that there will be a time you want to go home to your home church and be ministered to, but that time will not even come because you'll be too busy. And so it's important we appreciate the now, but work as though we're singing to a million. I think our quest to sing to millions make us underestimate our present. But enjoy singing to 200 people or 50 people and take that 50 people as though you are singing to 500,000. Because if you don't handle it like that, when 500,000 actually turns up, you will not be able to handle it. And so let us not say they are not being heard.
Okay.
Maybe not by the numbers you want them to be heard, but it's only a matter of time. Until you are ready to be there, God will not put you there. And those that force themselves to be there, they can't handle the top, because the top is not easy to stay there. It's not.
It's not. From someone from the top. At the top.
Are we there yet?
You are.
No, we're not. We're not. Because I hear it's very lonely at the top. And by the grace of God, I'm not lonely.
Okay, so you're not at the top.
No.
So where are you?
I am there. Because I'm not lonely, so they're saying it's lonely at the top. And I'm not lonely.
Oh, okay.
So if you're a mathematician, you can work it. It's lonely at the top. I am not lonely. So I'm not at the top. Simple maths.
We'll take it like that. All right. But briefly take us through some of your achievements when it comes to awards, some of the awards you've gotten so far. Any you can mention of head?
One of my biggest awards are the testimonies that we get.
Okay. Can you share any distinct one?
A baby was put on my laps.
Okay.
And the person said, I had this baby with Nsencheni Nyankopon. A lady said to me, she went to have an MRI done. And she asked for the song Nsencheni Nyankopon. And the person that was, you know, the MRI, you're put through a machine, it gets scary. It gets, people are scared of going through that. And the man said, this is the most asked song in this unit. That anybody that comes here for that procedure, when you ask them, what song should I play? They will ask for Nsencheni Nyankopon. And for me, that's a trophy. For me, that's an award. Aside everything else that you might define as an award, for me, that's another one. Was one of my backing vocalists. She's a midwife in the UK.
Okay.
And one day she called me after work and she said to me, Diana, you will not believe this. I was delivering a white woman at a London hospital, and she was struggling, and the doctors would come in and say, this labor is delayed. And so they came the last time and said to her, we'll be back in the next God knows how many minutes. And if you haven't progressed, we're going to have to take you to the theater for a cesarean section because this labor is not progressing. And she said she was with the lady. And when the doctors left, the next thing she heard was, on the woman's YouTube. This is a white woman. And she said, what song are you listening to? She said, oh, Diana Hamilton is my girl. And she said, do you understand? She says, I don't have to understand, but I know Osro Bekasa, I know Nsiuye, I know. And then she said, but she's my sister. She said, forget it. Every Ghanaian is Diana Hamilton's sister. Because she says when she meets any Ghanaian, she says, I love Diana Hamilton. They go, oh, she's my sister. So now she doesn't believe in anybody who says, and she said, well, I'm her backing vocalist. And so then she said, let me take you to her YouTube account. That is me there. That is me there. Before she believed that Brago is actually a backing vocalist and that she knew me. And she started showing her the songs, how she follows me. And so she called and was like, Diana, you don't even know the lives you're affecting. And so for me, that's an award, aside the Artist of the Year and the Gospel Song and the Collaboration of the Year. All these ones are physical awards that we thank God for. Okay. But the ones we are grateful to God for are the testimonies that come.
Wow, that's very nice to hear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. We are done with the questions, but I have a last segment coming up.
Another segment?
Can you guess?
No, I can't. Help me out.
Okay, then I'll explain to you after the break.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Let's take a quick break. I'll be right back.
The career trail. Your success journey begins here.
Welcome back from that quick breather. This is still the career trail on Joy Learning TV and Joy News. And like I said, we have a last part of the program coming up.
Yes, ma'am.
So in this part, I get to give you a task to perform. And at the end of the day, I get to rate whether you passed or failed the task.
Okay.
So when you pass the task, I get to raise the green card for you. When you fail the task, I get to raise the red card. Do you think you're going to pass?
I have no idea. I just know.
But what happens when you fail the task?
Life goes on.
All right. So this box looks like a watch box, but unfortunately it's not. It has a couple of tags in here where you get to select one.
Oh, Diana, make sure it was a good one.
Okay.
Oh, God. Mention the name of a Ghanaian gospel musician whose first name begin with each of the following letters.
Can we start?
Jesus. A. Agnes Opoku Ajimai.
Okay.
C. Christiana. Now she's Obapa Christie, but she used to be Christiana Love.
Okay. D.
Dana Piedu.
You didn't even mention your name, D.
Oh, says someone else. You're saying someone else, not me.
All right. Okay.
E. Emmanuel Champo of Emmanuel. Okay. Emmanuel Praise. George. G. I said George, but oh, there's a girl called Gina Doe in Belgium. H. Hannah Mafo.
Her Gina starts with G.
Yes.
Okay.
Her Gina starts with G.
Okay.
She's called Gina Doe. G-I-N-A.
Okay.
Doe is D-O-H. H. Hannah Mafo.
Okay.
J. Joe Metal. M. Mary Ganza. N. Nat Abe. He lives in the UK now. O. Ophelia. Nyantechi now. Abnasewa Ophelia. P. You confused. Pastor Isaiah for Sukwache. They call him Pastor Isaiah, so we'll take that. S.
I'm not getting your gauge.
Oh no, I'm not looking anywhere.
Okay.
I'm not. S for Selena Boateng.
Okay.
T. Oh, sorry. I better see. T-Pes will go anymore. See. Oh.
I'm not taking that.
I'm not hearing anything. T is Timiternity.
That one, everyone heard that. Someone whispered the answer. But
I tried though. I tried. Come on.
I get to raise
A
the
to
green card
T.
for you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. So wrapping up. what are your last words? What advice would you give to
Oh my
viewers
goodness, I've
watching?
enjoyed this. I knew I was going to make a fool of myself with the last one. I always do. But I've enjoyed it. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And like when she asked, I said lots of projects are coming up. DH by DH, we just launched a new collection. We have new songs. So follow us on all our social media platforms and allow yourselves to be blessed by it. I pray that the Lord who gives people testimonies from this ministry will give you a testimony too. And watch out for all the collaborations and the great things that God is going to do amongst us, within us, with us, and for us. My name is Diana Hamilton. God bless.
All right. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for honoring our invitation. A big thank you to your manager too, because it's through him that
this happened.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
To you
Thank
and
you.
the team. We are grateful for honoring our invitation.
Thank you
to
for
be
having
on the
me.
Career
Thank you.
Show
Thank
to
you,
share
Irene.
your
Thank
story.
you.
All right. So this is how we draw the curtain on this week's edition of the Career Show. But before we wrap up, can you just give us a line of your song,
dear.
a freestyle?
Oh dear, today is not a good vocal day.
Okay.
This is the doing of the Lord. Yapon.
All right. We will see you next time, same time on the Career Show. I leave you with today's quotes.
The Career Trail. Your success journey begins here.